Hello everyone. If you are new to Oracle cards or want to get into giving yourself your own Oracle card readings, this video is for you, whether you're a beginner or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you're looking for new ideas. Okay, so a little bit about me. I was on a healing journey when I had a spiritual awakening. And in very quick succession, I found myself getting into chakra dance, oracle cards, Reiki, crystals, starseed, all this metaphysical stuff just like majorly opened up and came into my life. And I had already been doing a lot and understanding about the body, the physical side as a massage therapist, and I had done personal work, development work in regards to like understanding the mind and energetically. But when the metaphysical part came in, it really explained the energy and helped connect it all together. So I've been using them a lot over the years for myself, and then I share it with different people I've worked on over the years, friends, and I am incredibly grateful for all the metaphysical stuff that has come into my life. And so the word oracle means messenger. So anything that has a message for you is an oracle. It could be cards, it could be a book, it could be another person, it could be a song. Those are all oracles. They're all giving you a message. So there are different ways of clearing cards when you get them. There are different ways of doing card readings. So I'm going to go through them. And I'm going to start off with showing you how different card decks are like. Here's a card deck. This one is more like self-explanatory. This card deck is one that I created. I've created 4 of them. They're all available on my Etsy shop. This one is called Sexy Intuitive, and it just comes shrink wrapped. It's self-explanatory. You could use it on its own or in conjunction with other cards. And so I like to get like an organza bag and put the deck in there to keep it together instead of like a rubber band. And let's just look at one of these cards here. You are not too much for him. Be yourself, express yourself. That is very self-explanatory, but also deep and will make you think. For when you feel unworthy or you feel like being a woman is too much, if your man is confident in who he is and has done his work and is healed, you will not be too much for him. So that is like a self-explanatory card. We have this deck here. This is Feminine Divine Affirmation cards. It comes in a box and it opens up. And again, these are also self-explanatory cards. There's no guidebook inside. And like this one says, I live a life fueled by loving decisions, choices, actions, and thoughts. I love sharing my happiness with those around me. I choose to see and feel love above all. So this is another way cards come in. We also have like a much bigger size here. This is a Faery Forest. It comes in a box. And it has the guidebook and it has the cards. These cards are a bigger size than these ones. They're a lot bigger. And you have the guidebook here, so when you're like doing your reading, you can look it up here and see what it has to say. And then this one here is sort of more the deluxe version, the Herbcrafter's Tarot. And I say that because it comes in a nice box with a ribbon that you can pull up. And you can pull up the deck. And we have Mullen here. And I am just going to... Actually, I'm just going to leave it alone for the moment. So what do you do when you get these cards? So I'm just going to preface the rest of this video by saying when it comes to pretty much anything man-made, human experience, you're going to find humans like to put rules, standards, guidelines on everything. And so you keeping that in mind, those standard rules and guidelines can be helpful when you're first getting into something, as you're like getting used to something and exploring it and figuring out how it works. But then when you start to realize, oh, doing it this certain way works best for me, that's how it works best for you. You take that and you listen to your intuition and you just run with that. Then that's when you like let all the other things just be flushed down a toilet and you do what works for you. Because you're going to have people creaming down your neck saying that you shouldn't do it a certain way, just do it however works best for you. Okay? When I was first getting into oracle cards and tarot cards, I didn't really like getting into tarot cards at all because it seemed very regulated. And having been raised in a strict religious home, I was like, I don't like anything regulated or organized in a certain way. I have to be done a certain way. And I was like, no, I'm going to do more oracle cards because that's more free-spirited. Since then, I also have incorporated some tarot. This is a tarot deck, and I just do it how I want to. And then sometimes I bring in the actual tarot meanings too. But again, you can mix and match. You can just do one card deck for a really long time until you're drawn to other ones. I have probably like 20 oracle card decks and probably 10 more I want to get. And I am just going with what I am drawn to and I feel like will give the best intuitive value and experience for myself. And then obviously what I benefit from and my passion is extended out to others through the readings that I do. So, what do you do with your new deck when you get it? There are a lot of different ways. So when you get a new oracle card deck, technically it's clean slate. It's coming to you freshly made. It's like a new baby. It hasn't been tainted or tarnished by anything. So technically it's ready to go. You don't really need to necessarily clear it unless you're really feeling like you need to. But if you've been gifted a set by somebody else who had it previously, like it's used, then you definitely need to clear it. So if it's new to you, definitely don't need to necessarily do anything to it. But some ways to clear a card deck are to, you can take it. And what's important with any card deck that you get is to have an intention for it. Like, what's your intention for it? Like, a really good intention, like a general intention, is for my highest and best good. So you can be like, this card deck is for my highest and best good, and you're going to tap on it, my highest and best good. You can do it once, you can do it 3 times. You can just imagine that intention like going down, and the energy going down through the whole stack of cards. For my highest and best good, for my highest and best good, for my highest and best good. You can also lay them out in a patch of sunshine and let the sunshine clear them. You can also lay them out in the moonlight as well. You can also sage them. So we're going to sage these. And you light the sage with your intention. This is an old mussel shell here. For my highest and best good, for my highest and best good, for my highest and best good. Light it. Let it smoke. Run your cards through it. My highest and best good, for my highest and best good, for my highest and best good. And that's ready to go. You can clear your cards after every time you use them if you want to, or you can just give them like a really good shuffle. That will also help to shift the energy too, from reading to reading. All right, so how to do a reading for yourself. What you can do is you can do a reading As part of a meditation, you can just grab like one card and see what it has to say, like this one here. You can do like a whole spread, ask a question and do a whole spread. The important thing to remember when it comes to card readings for yourself is there's a difference between the message that you want to hear and the message that's most important. And the message that's most important that's coming through to you from your higher self, your intuition, your spirit guides can be a completely different subject than what you're wanting to know information on. A lot of people just want to know, like, when's my love life coming in and when am I going to get lots of money? There's more things in life than that. You can get messages about you need to go home and have some self-care time instead of having the busy schedule that you're planning on having. It could be about your child, about how to take better care of your child. Like, all these messages about absolutely everything in your life. And your spirit guides and higher self are constantly wanting to connect with you and communicate with you. I just saw 1111. And those messages can be about anything because every part of your life is relevant. And so being open to what the message is coming through as, I've definitely have been there at the very beginning. I would just keep shuffling to hoping to get the card that I really wanted to see. But then when I like stepped back and I was like, okay, well, these messages are for my higher good, which is the whole purpose of life, is to become the best version of yourself and the fulfillment of why you came here instead of necessarily of what society tells you you always need, which is love and money. So you can pick a card. And something that was shared with me by somebody who bought a set of my cards. They're actually like, I like to just set them on a coffee table that I walk by all the time, and I just leave the cards setting like this. And as I walk by, they'll be like, what message do I need to hear? And they'll pick it up. What if it gets to be really, really good? That's a really great message. And then they put it back down and they continue on going about their day, and they just really think about that message. So that is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to shuffle. Shuffle the cards. And again, you're going to start with the cards with your intention, like, what do I need to hear today? And sometimes one card will fly out, like that one. Or you'll be drawn to one of the cards that starts to stick out of the deck, or it just like turns slightly up towards you. And this is a Faery Forest deck, and we have prayer, abundance, peace, and contentment. And then there's the whole guidebook. What you can also do is you can also hold this card up to your chest and see what messages come through as you listen. You can also read what's in the deck as well and ask what else you need to know. So this is number 23. Your integrity has led to healing and unity, which gives you vast potential. The surge of energy brings with it the ability to prosper, continue a flow of energy to be invested. Being at one with who you are destined to be can also lead to the power to create good fortune for yourself. This abundance, which will come lovingly and safely, can result in a time where you take your place in the world. Excellent message. You can also fan out the cards, and whatever one grabs your attention, that's the message that is coming through. So you can fan out by going like this. This card here is grabbing my attention. I want you only in a necktie. that very much tells you exactly. You can also there's been times when I've not really gotten the message I wanted, or like no cards were coming out when I was shuffling. So I literally just took part of the cards and threw them up in the air. And I was like, whatever one lands face up closest to me, that's my card. And that has worked too. So there are lots of ways to do card readings. You can also take and get an organza bag like this and put your favorite oracle card deck or an oracle card deck that is smaller, like that Divine Affirmation one and this Cherry Blossom one. They are both smaller, and you can put it in an organza bag, and you can travel with you in your car, on the plane. So that way when you're needing a pick-me-up, a message, or it's a quick way to do a meditation, so that way you're not leaving out this important intuitive flow in your life and body, is to just carry it with you. And when you need a message, again, you can either tap on a deck, you could spread it out, you can just pick it up and see what you find. And when you're done with it, you can just do a quick shuffle to set the energy for the next time. Sort of clear things and set the energy for the next time. So I showed you all about taking one card and getting a message from it. And you can also hold up the other card and see what messages come through and read the guidelines, the book. Or you can do a whole spread. I just saw 1717. So we're going to do a quick whole spread here. This is Ace of Fire. This is Mullen. Mullen is all about the respiratory system. So if you are a Gemini and you talk a lot, quite often the respiratory system can take a hit, because that is a part of you that is exercised very much, is that communication system of your sinuses, your oral cavity, your trachea, your lungs, your nose. Mullen is really excellent for that. And this is a great scenery here. So maybe you knowing or needing to know that particular message is coming through. I'm going to take the same deck. If you have more than one deck, maybe you've gotten 2 new decks, you could always listen to your intuition and what is like grabbing your attention. That's really important with card readings for yourself. We have another one for a fire elder. This has to do with the elderberry bush. It looks like she's making elixirs and has a very like homey old time vibe. So quite often taking care of your lungs and taking care of yourself and slowing down time is important. We have 10 of air. This is also meaning 10 of swords. And there's a little ladybug on there. Ladybugs mean that what you thought was lost is coming back into your life. And there's a scythe on the top there, and it's all about cutting down what you thought was working in your life and starting over. What do you need to get rid of for something better? And we have nettle. So nettle has these stinging, sharp parts of their plant that actually nobody likes to pick. But nettle is incredibly good. It's really good for the liver. It's really good for allergies. So if you can get past how it's harvested and how it feels being harvested, you can use it for great things. So the idea that I'm getting here is that there's something that you might necessarily not have been communicating or has been communicated to you, and you're being told to slow down and take time for yourself, because elderberry elixir is also good for immunity. So immunity goes hand in hand with the respiratory stuff. And you might be have to take a completely new look on how you are doing things in life, how you're communicating, or maybe you need to communicate. Maybe your throat chakra is really needing some help here. And once you get past the discomfort of expressing yourself, it will be really good for everybody around you and mostly yourself. Now that we got that idea, and how I'm partly doing some of this reading is that I have experience working with these herbs, so I'm just drawing on my knowledge and experience working with these herbs. But if you weren't knowledgeable with herbs, reading the guidebook or educating yourself on herbs would give you more ideas from the pictures. Because that's a lot how I like to do readings, is I like to grab from the pictures. I'd like the readers to be able to see the pictures, because there's usually something in the picture that I might not necessarily say, but really grabs their attention and really speaks to them. And then also, because it's a tarot deck, and if you're familiar with tarot, you can also do the reading as a tarot. You can also just read the guidebook and see what messages are coming through as well. And then usually, when messages come through, it's usually sort of like piecemealing it together and figuring out what's the common aspect of this whole message. And sometimes, and another preface I have to make, is that when you're doing a card reading, only take what resonates with. You could read a guidebook information, only take what resonates. And know that could represent the past, present, or future. So don't be all caught up in trying to how to make it fit. Just take what resonates, and if it's coming out, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, it's happening right now, it's going to be happening. It could be something that has happened in the past. You're like, oh yeah, I did that, I experienced that. This is confirmation of where I've been and where I'm going. As well as remember that free will, you have free will to completely change your life, your fate, and it can change the meaning of a reading at any moment. You might get a reading and be like, it's really telling me that things in my life are really shitty, and I don't want it to stay that way. Just saw 2, 3, 4. So that's where you get to weave your own life. You get to be the master of your own ship. You can turn it around at any time. You can change the direction of your life. You can maybe you came here to experience karma, and you're like, I'm done experiencing this. I'm going to work through my stuff and stop this cycle. So free will is so, so important when you are doing your own readings, when you are watching readings, and know that anything that anybody says is not set in stone or cement, because it can all be changed. All right, so I am just going to quickly look up here. Ace. Ace of Mullen is about ignite the flame of creativity, seek inspiration by the light of a witch's torch, let desire illuminate courage. So I gave you one kind of reading, and now this is a reading where you piece together what the guidelines are saying. Ignite the flame of creativity, illuminate courage. And now we're going to do 4 of fire. Elder, make a little magic. Stir up a special ceremony. Holy helpers guide you and lend you power. Honor the beings who guard the liminal places. So they're both talking about magic and creativity. And we have 10 of air, which is alfalfa. Compost your plans and allow new ideas to sprout. Breaking down leads to renewed fertility. Let your studies lie fallow, replenish, and begin again. So it sounds like you have this creative aspect that's really speaking loud to you. And you tapping into your magic, it's time to tap into your magic. And then Ace of Fire, Ace of Earth. Health and wealth may begin with a sting. Take the next steps, even if it hurts. Let your gifts root in the physical world. So this card reading, the first aspect worked all well together. The second aspect is also working well together. So it's time to take your gifts into the world, no matter how uncomfortable it is. Let that magic happen. And sometimes what we're resisting is exactly what we need the most. And quite often, once we surrender to the resistance and we go forward with what we thought, it actually is so much easier than we thought it was going to be. Just saw 25. And so hopefully this gives you a lot of ideas on how to do readings for yourself. And you can even take these cards and like put them underneath the underside part of your pillowcase and let the message sleep with you during the night. You could have a journal and you just go through and journal out the messages that came through. While you're driving, you can be thinking about the messages that came through instead of being caught up in worries, doubts, and fears and what other drivers are doing. This is something to like let settle into your mind and like really shift and change your psyche, is to constantly go back and to think about choosing your thoughts and choosing to think about the card messages that came through instead of being concerned about everything else that we've been sold is about worries, doubts, and fears to think about instead. Instead, think about this stuff. Okay, thank you so much. And I'm going to seal in this reading with my sound bowl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.